From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Tuesday morning. It's 5:30. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. So very happy to see you with us on this Turkey Tuesday.
That's right. And I'm Ed McIntosh with a great weather forecast to go along with something we're going to be outdoors for the most of the program here as we start looking in toward 6 o'clock. We're starting off with a look down towards 4th Avenue North, North 32nd, right across from the Y. That's where we're set up to do the collections today. We're going to be out there with the food bank. We got some great things for you to register for. And of course, there's that warm feeling of being able to help out with somebody and make sure that they have that holiday meal. 35 right now, just a little bit of a north breeze. It's actually pretty comfortable as we get rolling here today. Yesterday's high came in at 45 degrees, right at the 30-year average, and we're going to zoom right past that as we start getting into today. 52 Livingston right now, 39 in Cody, 28 for you in Sheridan, and Miles City and Jordan have both been sitting at 34 here for a little bit now. As we look down into southern Montana, some warmer temperatures west of Billings, some of those 50s in the mix. Right now, Absaroka reported 54, although I'm told that runs a little on the warm side, and then 20s and 30s off into the eastern plains. So temperatures warming up today will likely hit the 50s by later on in the afternoon, could be close to 60 degrees here on this Turkey Tuesday. We're going to talk more about that coming up in a little while. Oh, there you go.
Our turkey's
Great
all
shot out there.
masked up and ready to go.
I think it's ironic that the size of the mask on the turkey is just about the size of my bib.
Hey, it works though. He's being safe.
That's
right?
for sure. And we will be today too. We're going to have folks out there doing the collections, and we've got some volunteers that are going to be all lined up so you can safely give that way, or you can go online. We'll tell you more about it in a little while.
All right, sounds good. And in the meantime, Ed, I will get to the news.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Ed. We begin this Tuesday with new information about what led a Highway Patrol trooper to shoot and kill a suspect in Stillwater County last week. MHP was alerted 38-year-old Charles Meeks was throwing flaming objects from a car window, resulting in several small fires along Interstate 90 near Columbus. According to the Highway Patrol, they pulled Meeks over. He refused to cooperate, and after a confrontation, the trooper shot Meeks once with a shotgun. He died at the scene. The trooper, along with a Columbus police officer and a Stillwater County deputy, are on administrative leave during the investigation. In education news, Billings Public School leaders are getting their first look at how remote learning may have affected test scores. Standardized testing data from kindergarten through 8th grade showed students scored lower in math but higher in reading. District 2 officials say reading is generally easier for parents to teach at home. School leaders are putting the results to use, identifying ways to offer help to remote learners. It might be necessary as the number of kids at home has grown. Over 5,500 students in many classrooms have been placed in quarantine since the last week of October. A historic win for Montana. That's how State Attorney General Tim Fox described a new settlement with big tobacco companies that will net over $50 million. The original suit dates all the way back to 1998 and accused several tobacco companies of deceiving the public of the health hazards of smoking. This settlement will fund children's health care, suicide prevention, and smoking cessation programs. And as a condition of the deal, the companies will not be allowed to challenge the payments in court again until 2030.
The settlement funds are particularly important to the Department of Public Health and Human Services. This money is key in its efforts to help people quit smoking and to prevent Montana youth from becoming addicted in the first place.
And Fox says that owed funds should be paid by the end of the year, which means they'll be available for the governor's budget and the 2021 legislature. And speaking of that budget, Governor Steve Bullock unveiled his final one yesterday, but it probably won't be used. Governor-elect Greg Gianforte will sign the next state budget, and he'll draft his own plan with likely different priorities. Bullock proposed freezing in state tuition, spending an additional $500 million on infrastructure, and using $75 million from the rainy day fund to avoid raising taxes. The current governor says the way he's handled the budget during the pandemic was key because the state didn't slash government services.
This is a budget that does not necessitate any cuts to government programs and services relied on by Montanans. If the next administration and legislature choose to cut government services, it'll be based on ideology, not based on necessity.
Republicans will hold large majorities at the 2021 legislature, which will help craft and approve the next state budget. A missing Anaconda girl has been found safe. The Amber Alert for Adriana Correa was canceled just after 2:30 this morning. The 11-year-old was last seen at 8 o'clock yesterday morning near her school. Surveillance video showed her getting into a vehicle authorities believe was driven by her non-custodial father. Any other details, such as where Adriana was found or her birth parents' involvement in her disappearance, have not been released. And turning now to national news, there's been 1 million new COVID-19 infections in just the past week, and nearly 70,000 Americans are in hospitals. At least 27 states have imposed new restrictions. Even lawmakers who previously rejected public safety measures are now implementing changes, including the governor of Iowa. When announcing the state's new mask mandate, she said, "If Iowans don't buy into this, we lose." Health officials say it will be months before vaccines are widely available. However, Moderna has a much more optimistic outlook for their 95% effective vaccine. The drug company says they hope to begin distributing it before the end of the year. Moderna is preparing to ask the FDA for emergency use authorization for the vaccine. And Pfizer is planning a test distribution of its vaccines in 4 states. The experimental vaccine has excited health officials because data shows it's more than 90% effective. However, distributing it may prove to be challenging. The vaccine must be stored at a temperature lower than what standard freezers can produce. It also requires 2 doses spaced 3 weeks apart to be effective. Pfizer chose Rhode Island, Texas, New Mexico, and Tennessee to test distribution due to their differences in size, population, diversity, and immunization infrastructure. President-elect Joe Biden wants to be included in vaccine distribution talks. He called on the White House to cooperate with his transition team about the pandemic. But the federal agency that authorizes presidential transitions says it will wait until the election results are certified. CNN's Camila Bernal has the latest.
As President Trump refuses to concede,
I am hopeful.
President-elect Joe Biden focusing on his transition and addressing what could happen if the Trump administration continues to block it, especially when it comes to a coronavirus vaccine.
More people may die if we don't coordinate.
Biden saying the coordination needs to happen now, a process that would include COVID-19 and national security updates. And from Trump's top national security advisor, a crack in the White House's denial of the results.
If there is a new administration, like, they deserve some time to come in and implement their policies. The Biden-Harris ticket is determined to be the winner, and it's, obviously things look that way now. We'll have a very professional transition from the National Security Council.
This, as according to sources familiar, U.S. military commanders are anticipating that a formal order will be given by the president as soon as this week to begin a further withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan and Iraq before Trump leaves office. But U.S. military officials have long stressed that the U.S. withdrawal should be conditions-based.
The initial warning order stated that it would be conducted before January 18th. That seems to be in line with the president's incomprehensible order, which goes against condition-based operations.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
The president-elect will receive a national security briefing today. The transition official says it will feature a team of diplomatic, intelligence, and defense experts. This is not an official security briefing. Biden has yet to receive classified intelligence briefings since he won the presidency. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is still receiving intelligence briefings in her role on the Senate Intelligence Committee. Also making headlines this morning, hate crimes in the U.S. have hit a 10-year record high. Federal data shows there were 7,300 hate crimes in 2019, up from 7,100 the year before. The most ever was in 2008 at almost 7,800. The FBI defines hate crimes as attacks motivated by a person's race, religion, sexual orientation, or other categories. Federal officials are also reporting the highest number of hate-motivated killings since the FBI started tracking that data in the early 1990s. There were 51 hate crime murders in 2019. Hurricane Iota made landfall on Nicaragua's Caribbean coast overnight, and it's already breaking plenty of records. It's the 30th named storm in the Atlantic hurricane season, which is the most ever and the first with a Greek alphabet name to hit as a Category 5. Iota also sets the record for the latest Category 5 hurricane on record. The last time that happened in November was in 1932 in Cuba. And before we take a break, pigeons are often given unflattering descriptions like rats with wings. But those that can fly at record speeds are bringing in record money at online auctions. CBS's Ian Lee reports.
This treasure chest is worth more than its weight in gold. It carries a prized pigeon named New Kim, and this bird is fast. Racing pigeons can be a bit of an obsession for breeders in Belgium, known as fanciers.
So you have like 20,000 pigeon fanciers in a very small country competing to each other on a very high level. It's like a Champions League.
2-year-old New Kim soared ahead of the flock in an online bidding war. She was put up for auction 2 weeks ago with a starting price of $230. But feathers flew in the final minutes on Sunday when 2 Chinese collectors battled over the bird, driving up the final price to $1.9 million. Racing pigeons is an old sport, going back hundreds of years. Militaries also used the brisk birds to deliver messages during World Wars I and II. It's not just New Kim's speed that attracts buyers. They're also looking for a new nest egg.
The pigeon New Kim is very special because she's very young. So we can still breed, or the buyer can still breed many years from the pigeon.
Meaning New Kim could turn into a golden goose. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.